by Philips, whose personal computers, units, and imaging systems, audio and video products, mobile communication systems, and Philishave electric shavers make it a world leader in electronics. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Halifax Metro Center. You know, it was just 2 months ago that this building was literally shaking with the ovation for Kurt Browning as he defended his World Figure Skating Championship. Well, we're expecting just as much excitement today. What's on the line? Well, lots. How about international competition? The Olympics. You see, how the athletes do here today will go a long way in determining their future on the international stage. We hope you enjoyed our presentation of the Preakness Stakes here on CTV yesterday. Another big day of sports lined up today. For after our telecast, we will be taking you to San Francisco for Major League Baseball, the Expos and Giants. And why don't we go right now from the East Coast to the West Coast and Candlestick Park for a preview. All right, we're looking forward to that. The 1990 National Gymnastics Championships will get underway in just a moment. Nova Scotia. And the 1990 Canadian Gymnastics Championships live from the Metro Center. Hi, everybody. Paul Menier once again, and as mentioned, we have a great day of sports lined up for you here on CTV. Following our telecast here in Halifax today, we will take you to Candlestick Park in San Francisco for the Expos and Dodgers. But right now, it's the Canadian Gymnastics Championships, and we want to go upstairs and introduce you to Peter Young, our play-by-play man, and color analyst, Alfie Schlegel.
Thank you very much, Paul. You know, last year in Edmonton, Curtis Hibbert and Laurie Strong dominated the national championships. This year, only one of those two in Halifax. Joining me right now is Alfie Schlegel. Alfie, Curtis Hibbert is the premier gymnast in the country.
Well, the rivalry continues between Curtis Hibbert and Alan Nole. It was quite a showdown in the men's all-around competition, but Curtis again coming out on top as the national champion. What you'll find in the event finals is that the two men, Curtis and Alan, will probably be battling it out for gold medals.
And our defending women's champ, Laurie Strong, could not compete in this event.
Unfortunately, Laurie suffered a broken ankle, so the door was really wide open for a new national champion, and there was quite a battle in the women's competition as well, and Larissa Loewen came out on top.
All right, how about some of the new faces in women's gymnastics, maybe the ones that we can look forward to competing in Barcelona?
It's really exciting because the things are really changing in women's gymnastics. Stella Ume is one name to watch for. She's very aggressive and very confident. She has a lot of big tricks, and also Koyuki Oka, a very stylish gymnast. She's a real cutie, so look for those two names leading up to 92. All
right, it should be an outstanding meet. We invite you to stay with us this afternoon. The National Gymnastics Championships continue right after this. The local favorite, Chris Burley.
I had a chance to watch Chris in the junior competition, a very impressive athlete. Good opening, very solid, with full twist, double back, excellent done. A triple twist, just a little bit short on his landing, but great difficulty. Now that was a nice little transition into his flexibility move. A nice little shoulder roll, moving right up into his press handstand.
As a junior last year, Chris also made it into the finals on the floor.
An outstanding floor exercise we've seen so far, just one final tumbling run. A very high double back dummy to close. I don't know, that was an excellent routine. It'd be interesting to see what the judges do with this. It's hard to believe that Chris is just a junior. He's handled this competition so well. He's not intimidated at all by the senior athletes. Look at the full twisting double back, sky high, just really well done. He's obviously put a lot of training and concentration into this exercise. A triple twist, a little bit short on his landing, but again, a very difficult move. This was that nice little shoulder roll transition into his flexibility skill, his front split. And ending this combination with a press to handstand, again to fulfill his strength requirement.
And what an outstanding performance it was for Chris Burley. He will take the gold medal, a junior up in the senior ranks for today's show, 9.7. This is Scott McDonald.
Now, the men's floor exercise is judged a little differently. Their score is only out of a 9.4. The other way they can make up that 0.6 is through showing moves of virtuosity, originality, and also showing some type of risk. So nice, steady press to handstand. This is a good apparatus for Scott. Front handspring, front fold, dive roll. And his balance move. Nice front arabesque. He has to hold that for at least 2 seconds. And his dismount, a front fold to a punch front. Good routine for Scott. Scott's been very impressive throughout the entire competition. He's really building as a top national team gymnast. There was a second tumbling line, a front fold to immediate punch front into that Shushanova straddle move right down to the floor.
Scott was in third place coming into this apparatus.
And he finishes off his routine with a back layout fold to immediate punch front. That's a really nice combination.
And the score now for Scott McDonald, a great routine. And Scott's score is 9.65. From the Burlington Gymnastics Club, Alan Nolay.
Oh, a great opening, just a big step on the landing. That was a full twist double back. Now, Alan has a lot of international experience. There's a second tumbling run, a double back to an immediate back handspring punch Shushanova. Now, that was a move that was made famous by the 1988 Women's Olympic champion. These are nice moves, too. They're called flared circles, taking them right up to a handstand, a move that's very common on the men's pommel horse.
Alan, of course, won the silver medal at the Commonwealth Games in this apparatus.
There's his flexibility requirement, a front split. Now he moves into a wide arm press to handstand. Very, very difficult press skill. The last tumbling run, this is the one that really counts. Okay, a good close. That was a double back stummy, just a little bit shy in his landing, but overall a tough routine. His tumbling was very clean. He had a lot of originality. This was his middle tumbling pass, a double back. Now, most gymnasts will stop right there. Alan connects this into combination back handspring into that Shushanova element we saw earlier. Boy, after 3 days of competition, he didn't look very tired on this event. He put in a good finish, a double back, just a little bit short on his landing, not a major deduction.
Alan's score, 9.55. This is Sean Jakerin from the Burlington Bee Gees, coached by Dave Arnold.
The last time we saw Sean was in the 1988 National Championships, where he also performed in the event finals a strong opening, a full twisting double back. Second tumbling run, 2 front handsprings to a front full. He's doing a great job. Nice flared circle down on the floor into his flexibility skill.
Sean was the junior champion in 1987. Then he hurt his back a couple of years ago as well and set him back a bit.
There's his Y scale, show his balance requirement. Getting set for his final tumbling pass. Double twist, punch front. Not a bad landing, but a lot of difficulty in this routine. Excellent job by Sean. This was really an impressive routine. He had a lot of good tumbling moves, but the tumbling was very high and very clean. There's his opening, a full twist and a double back out. That's a double back tumbling with a full twist, a very difficult opening. He landed it so well. Look at the set that he gets in this tumbling line. There's his double twist, but he doesn't stop there. Punches immediately into a punch front. You can see just a little bit of over-rotation in that final tumbling pass.
Sean Jakerin scores a 9.55. The gold medal will go to hometown favorite Chris Burley from Halifax. Scott McDonald of the Burlington Bee-Gees takes the silver medal, and the bronze, a tie, Alain Nollet and Sean Jakerin. Curtis Hibbert's 5th, J.P. Kramer 6th. Coming up next, women's vault won the National Gymnastic Championship.
California, but here in San Francisco.
Now the medal presentation for the men's floor exercise. And we have a tie for the bronze medal. So you see 2 gentlemen on the right side podium. And the man in the middle, local favorite, Chris Burley, the junior, wins the gold with a 9.7.
First place in gold, Chris Burley.
Ed Brome, the past president of the Gymnastics Federation, is helping with the presentations. Chris Burley, 16 years of age, coached by Tak Kikuchi. The silver medal goes to Scott McDonald of the Burlington Bee-Gees. He's coached by Dave Arnold. He had a 9.65. And the bronze medalists, as you can see, 2 of them on the podium at 9.55, Alan Nollet of the Burlington Gymnastics Club and Sean Jakerin of the Burlington Bee-Gees.
Derek Hara, 9.55.
Jennifer Wood of the Altador Club. Just came back from a competition in Romania.
Oh, a terrific vault, a super hard layout with a full twist. Very strong and very explosive vaulter. Here's her jump onto the board. She'll do a round off onto the horse. Now this vault is performed in a laid out position and she adds a full twist. Looks for her landing, just 1 step. Very good vault. Jennifer gets tremendous height off the horse. She really has to push off hard right there. Good clean twist in the air. No problems on the landing whatsoever, just 1 small step.
Her average score, 9.75. Larissa Loeing is one of the outstanding female gymnasts in our country. In fact, she'll be competing next year in the World Championships for the third time, and only one person has done more than that. And that's Elfie.
Terrific vaulter. That was a nice vault. It was a laid-out Tsukahara. Unfortunately, that vault value is only out of a 9.90, but she performed it very well. The Tsukahara in a laid-out position is a round-off onto the horse. Nice laid-out stretch body position. She looks for the floor. And not a lot of movement on her landing. Good height off the horse, and that's what the judges are looking for, the distance, the height, and the clean lines in the air, which Larissa has.
9.65 is her score. Natasha Hallett, 16 years old, considers the vault her best apparatus. We'll get a chance to see how she performs on it right now. Making a slight adjustment in the board.
Oh, that was a nice Tsukahara in a laid-out position. Unfortunately for Natasha, that vault is only out of a maximum of a 9.90. She should be very pleased and probably will score almost maximum points on this vault. Here's a round-off onto the horse. And it's a Tsukahara in a laid-out position. She comes down, opens up, looks for the floor, and one step on her landing. Again, this vault is only out of a 9.9. That's the maximum she can score. She has nice height off the horse, good laid-out position. Important for the judges to see those good body lines and one step on her landing.
On the trampoline right now, we have Catherine Worley, our senior women's national champion.
9.6125, the average score for Natasha Hallett. The gold medal is won by Jennifer Wood on the vault. Larissa Loeing takes the silver, Natasha Hallett the bronze. Janine Rankin fourth, Stella Ume fifth, Kelly Woolsey sixth. We'll go to the men's rings next as the 1990 National Gymnastics Championships continue in a moment. Presentation to Jennifer Wood from the Altador Club. Larissa Loeing of the Winstonettes is the silver medal winner. And Natasha Hallett of the Flip Gym Club in Quebec takes the bronze. Once again, Jennifer Wood is the champion in women's vault.
Our next competitor,
Curtis Hibbert, the two-time Canadian champion.
This is definitely Curtis's event. Just take a look at his upper body build. Very strong. And watch how he holds those strength moves. That's how they should be done. That's an Olympic cross. Swinging up into a handstand. That's a Yamawaki double front into another strength element. Again, a second Olympic cross.
He certainly has command of this apparatus.
What's nice to see is he makes these moves look so effortless. Look at each handstand, right up into the handstand, very still, getting set for his dismount. A double layout, sticks the landing. A good routine for Kurt.
Has to be happy with that performance.
This is where all the years of international and national competition pay off. The experience that he's had competing over the years, doing a marvelous job on this apparatus. That's a nice skill. The Yamawaki, which is the double front, but Curtis performed his in a pike position, and there's that dynamite strength skill, an Olympic cross. Good form throughout the entire routine. Nice clean lines. There's his giant swing. He's winding up for his dismount. He'll do a double layout. Very tough to maintain that stretched, laid-out body position. 2 rotations, and he looks for his landing. He's really going to fight for this landing, too, not giving away any tenths. Yeah, great job.
9.775. That will be tough to beat.
Our next competitor, Claude Latendresse from Quebec.
This is 22-year-old Claude Latendresse of Quebec.
This is a great event for Claude. He has a lot of originality on this apparatus, and what sets his routine apart is the nice clean lines. He's very steady. That's a nice move, a planche. He moves down into a second strength element, an iron cross that could be a little bit lower in that position. Very steady in his handstand work. There's that double front summy, but he does 2 in a row. 1 in a pike position, the second one in a tuck.
Claude is the defending champion in this apparatus as well, so he's really gunning for that high score that Curtis attained.
He's doing a great job. Nice giant work. There's a dismount, double layup, 6 for landing. That was a super routine.
It's going to be close.
Claude had excellent strength in his routine. And there's this nice skill, a Yamawaki in a pike position. There's the second one in a tuck position. Good combination. He was very steady on this apparatus. Nice, tight, clean lines. Good giant work, moving into his dismount, a double layout. But this was spectacular because he just nailed his dismount.
Claude Latendresse scores 9.7. From the Newmarket Gym Club, this is George Zivic. It's his father, Tom, who is his coach.
George has really been impressive in this competition. In fact, this is one of his best events. A nice L cross, moving right up into an L. Pressing up into a handstand. Now the men have to show 1 swing to handstand as well as 1 press to handstand. And that's a great move. That's called an Olympic cross, and he moves into an iron cross again. You can mark that move. Giant swing into his dismount, double twisting, double back. Unfortunately, he fell on that landing.
George had a little problem with the landing, but otherwise not a bad performance considering he's competing with a very badly sprained wrist. Has real problems with some of the strength moves.
The interior of the routine was very impressive. He had a lot of good skills, a lot of strength elements. That was the Olympic cross. And then he moves right into an iron cross. That's a tough combination. Showing a nice L, pressing up into handstand. Again, the judge is emphasizing more and more strength elements on this apparatus. And this is a great dismount and very difficult. 2 twists and 2 summies. You can see just short on his landing. Had to take a big hop and put his knee down.
9.55, the score on the rings for George Zivic.
George Zivic, 9.55.
There you have the standings and rings. Curtis Hibbert takes the gold. Claude Latendresse, the silver. George Zivic, the bronze. Then comes Robert Nouri, Scott McDonald in the junior, Benoit Dontigny. We'll be back with the women's beam routines next as the 1990 National Gymnastic Championships continue in a moment. Now the medal presentations for men's ring. And it will be Curtis Hibbert from the Newmarket Gym Club who takes the gold medal. Curtis, of course, likely at this point our #1 gymnast in the country. 3-time national champion now. Claude Latendresse is the silver medal winner. Claude had a 9.7, Curtis a 9.775. And 20-year-old George Zivic from the Newmarket Gym Club takes the bronze. Curtis Hibbert, the gold. Claude Latendresse, the bronze, the silver, and George Zivic, the bronze.
He's worked with coach Tak Kikuchi for about 10 years. When Kikuchi moved to Halifax from Truro this year, Chris followed. Together, they have an Olympic dream.
He had a chance to make the 92 Olympics, but it's really tough to do that. But hopefully 96.
I think I have to sacrifice more. I think everybody has to sacrifice when they get higher and higher in their sport. It's going to be harder on funding-wise, because there isn't anybody in Halifax that's sponsored, or any gymnasts in Nova Scotia that are sponsored by any companies or anything, so it comes out of the parents' pockets, what I do, and I don't have enough time because I train almost every day to get a job or anything, so it's really hard.
And there may be yet more obstacles. Burley's already had to leave home at 16 to pursue his dream. Next, it may be a move out of province.
Right now it does. There is no facility for national competitors in Nova Scotia. Halifax has a few little clubs, but there's no good facility to work tough tricks that national kids need to do.
Leaving his coach might be the greatest of all his sacrifices to date.
We pretty much know what each other is thinking. We know each other very, very well, and we can tell what we're thinking in each other. So, and there's we know what we need to do, and what we need to do to become national champion for senior or Olympic competitor or whatever.
Well, it's tough for gymnasts to leave, and also coaches. The coaching over 10 years. Well, a little bit disappointment if it happens, but not much I can do unless we have better facilities.
But with the Nationals in Halifax for the first time since 1982, there may be hope for a Nova Scotia-trained Olympian.
They'll help out a lot. We've gotten a lot of coverage, and I think it'll help people in Nova Scotia realize that gymnastics is a very good sport, and that we are just as good as any from Ontario or Quebec, and that if we have the right facilities and stuff like that, then there's no holding us back.
This is Stella Ume, who will turn 15 next week. Stella's from Gymnastics, Mississauga.
Stella has a lot of difficulty in this balance beam routine. This is usually a pretty consistent event for her. The big tumbling pass is right here at the opening. Oh, she nails that perfectly. She's a very determined young lady, and what I like about her work is she's aggressive. Nice gainer back layout. Oh, taking a little bit of a pause there. She should have connected those two straddle jumps. course, it looks so easy up there. In fact, Stella's doing a great job. But this takes years and years of experience and training to master this event. Dismount, double back. Oh, that was a great routine.
I would say that would put her in the medals. Something about Stella that everybody seems to love. She is one of those type of kids that no matter what she's doing,
She has a fantastic personality, very bubbly, a real team leader, in fact. And look at this combination skill. Very difficult, a back handspring to a layout, but she continues on to another back handspring layout. That's 4 tumbling moves, the entire length of the balance beam, just dynamite. And of course, she has no problems on her dismount at all. She gets so much height on her double back, 2 summies in the air, and does a great job on the landing. Definitely happy with this routine. .65 for Stella Ume.
This is Monica Kovaci, 18 years of age from Sports Seneca. She's coached by Brian McVeigh and Carol Orchard, and is one of our top international athletes.
Unfortunately, Monica didn't have a great day in the all-around competition, and this was one apparatus that she suffered some problems, but when she's on, she's really on. Nice press to handstand. This is an excellent mount. It's in a planche position, maintaining that split.
Monica was our highest-ranked gymnast at the Seoul Olympics, and she finished 22nd.
Now, you'll see most of the girls take a second or two before they set up for their acrobatic skills. That's the move she had a problem on. 2 layout walkouts, very well done today. Oh, and that's a nice skill, a double turn. She was right on.
Almost like in a trance when they're on the beam. The smiles don't come till afterwards.
You can see it in her face. She definitely has her game face on today. She's really doing a great job. She's going to take a couple of extra seconds here. This is her big move. Back handspring layout to another back handspring. Full twist dismount. She has to be pleased with this routine today.
And looks kind of relieved. Good job by Monica Kovaci.
You know what's really impressive is to see her come back after a day of, well, not a great routine, and she put it all together in the event finals. I love this combination. 2 layout walkouts, beautifully done, good height on those moves. And this was one dynamite dismount, a lot of tumbling. In fact, it takes the whole length of the beam, a back handspring layout. She goes on to a back handspring and then moves right into her dismount, a tuck full. What a great line.
.625 for Monica Kovaci.
Women's team. First contestant, Jenny Black from Ontario.
This is 17-year-old Janine Rankin from Gymnastics Mississauga on the balance beam.
If there's one event that Janine's known for internationally, it's definitely the balance beam. And it's on this move right here that she gained world recognition. That's called the Rankin. Janine also had some problems, unfortunately, in the all-around competition, which cost her the overall title. It was a fall on this apparatus. Now there's her acrobatic series, very well done, a back handspring to a layout flip. And this is another original element for Janine. Now watch this, she'll cross her arm over. Very original move down to a one-arm handstand. Good amplitude and height on those two straddle jumps.
Janine will be 18 in a couple of weeks. That'll put her at 20 by the time Barcelona comes along.
A double back stummy, a much better routine from the all-around competition. She'll be very pleased.
It was pretty clean. We haven't seen that smile for a while. Mary Lee Palmer, her coach, and Alex Bard as well, over to offer congratulations to Janine Rankin on a great beam performance.
Well, she definitely has to be happy with this routine today. And this was a nice original skill. Watch this. This is another original move for Janine. Just a handstand move, but watch her right arm cross over her left. This is really difficult to do and balance that handstand position. She works in a one-arm handstand, works down low to the balance beam. That's a really tough skill. And this is what she hurt her foot on in the all-around competition, was on this dismount. But look at the great height. That's a double back, two summies in a tuck position. No problems today.
And no problems on the scoreboard either. 9.6 for that very well done routine. Stella Ume, 14 years of age, takes the gold medal. In second place, Monica Kovaci. Janine Rankin, who was up first, finishes third. Koyuki Oka is in fourth, and Seaman Lau and Larissa Lowing sixth. Next up, it's the women uneven bars as the 1990 National Gymnastics Championships continue in a moment. Now the presentation of the medals in the women's balance beam. And it features the youngest competitor you will see today, 14-year-old Stella Ume. And she will be on the middle podium taking the gold medal. And the silver medal will go to Monica Kovaci of Sports Seneca. She had a 9.6. Stella was 9.65. Actually, Monica was 9.625 and 9.6 in third. The bronze medal, Janine Rankin. Stella Ume, once again, the gold medalist in women's balance beam.
Presenting the check on behalf of Steve Anderson, Bill Buffalo.
I think everybody would agree, and it really has been the consensus, that this has been a first-class competition in Halifax here this week, and it would not be possible without the generous corporate support of operations like Philips. And with me is Dieter Siegelberg, the president of Philips Electronics Limited. Mr. Siegelberg, I understand you have a presentation for Malcolm Hogarth, the president of the Canadian Gymnastics Federation, sir.
Yes, indeed. On behalf of Philips Electronics Limited, it gives me great pleasure to hand over this check to you and at the same time congratulate you for a very well-executed competition.
Thank you very much. It's really through the continuing support of corporations such as Philips that allows us to profile our sport on national television. And again, thank you very much.
Welcome back to the Metro Center in Halifax as we look live at Janine Rankin getting ready to start the uneven bars. Peter Young along with Elfie Schlegel and Paul Meunier. Janine, of course, you just saw a few moments ago on the podium. Already has a third today. She'll be 18 in a couple of weeks. And is one of only two who qualified for all 4 women's events today.
And that's really tough to do, to compete in all event finals after completing 2 full days of competition. Nice opening. There's a giant with a half turn into a front giant. There's a big release skill, a front Jaeger, really well done. The girls, of course, have to show at least 10 elements on this apparatus. Janine's showing some impressive work. Every handstand right up to the maximum. Giant swing into her dismount, double tack. Not a lot of deductions in that routine, just a small hop on her landing.
It almost seemed, though, that she was penalized in the balance beam when she was the first competitor. They judge after that first score. It's tough on her.
Janine had excellent work, nice form, and good amplitude. Now, all the girls will do at least 1 release element. That's a special requirement on this event. There's Janine's, a front Jaeger. You can see she was so high. And then she connects down back to the low bar because she has to show at least 2 bar changes in this routine. Nice giant work up on the high bar. She works that into her dismount. That's a double back summy in a tuck position. Little cowboy with her knees. Her knees were a little bit apart, and a small hop on her landing.
9.7. Very high score for Janine Rankin.
Next, Jody Jakes from BC.
This is Jody Jakes from the Flicka Gym Club in BC. Quite an interesting story involving Jody. She lives in North Vancouver, actually on Eagle Island, and I think Alfie would be safe to say is the only competitor here who has to row a boat to school every day.
Wow, what a super high release move. Jody was going for a Ginger release move. Now, she hasn't had a problem with that in the other competition, but just a little bit too far away on the bar. Of course, she has to regroup herself and pick back up where she left off. I like Jody's work. She's very clean, very neat. She keeps her legs together on all her giant work, and that was a nice dismount, a double twist.
Jody Jakes. Too bad she was the Western Canadian champion earlier this year in the unevens.
Well, she had a lot of fine work on the uneven bars. As I said, I was very impressed with her release skill right here. She is so high above the bar, but just you can see fingertip control, not enough to hang on. And of course, the girls know how to fall on these release skills. They've practiced them many, many times in the gym. And I liked her work up on the high bar too. She had nice giant swings, perfect body line. And this was a good dismount. 2 twists in the air, just a little bit shy on her landing.
Jody Jakes, 8.95.
8.95 for Jody Jakes. She'll be disappointed with that. Now it's Natasha Hallett, 16 years of age, from the Foot Gym Club in Quebec.
Now, what we should watch for with Natasha's routine is the amplitude that she gets on her release moves. This is her first big one coming up right here. Oh, a very nice staccato. And a second release move, that's called a Delchev. Now, at this level of competition, they have to perform very difficult moves, that one being the most difficult in the gymnastic code.
Two men's high bar maneuvers.
He's winding up for a dismount, a double back dismount in a tough position. She should be very happy with this routine.
Not much wrong with that, Elfie.
Natasha had great difficulty on this apparatus. She shows a lot of amplitude in her release skills. She'll work up to the handstand. Now you can see her coach stepping in behind, just as a precaution there. There's her first giant. Now this is called a Tkachev, also a reverse hecht, and yes, the girls have stolen this from the men's high bar, but look at the height that she gets on that move. That's really impressive. And then working into a second release element, that one was called a Delchev. Now there's the Delchev again from another angle. You can see it's a half twist, a back dummy with a half twist, and she has to move back down to the low bar, and that's to fulfill those requirements to do at least 2 movements on the low bar. Working into a glide kip, just a little transition move to get her back up to the high bar. Right up to the handstand. This is what the judges are looking for. Every move taken right to its fullest. 2 giants, and then she moved into that lovely dismount. Notice the knees were locked together. That's really nice to see. Good work.
Natasha Hallett, a score of 9.6. Next up on the uneven, Larissa Lloyd of the Winstonettes. Larissa was 5th all around last year in the meet in Edmonton and had a silver on the unevens.
Larissa performs very well on this apparatus as well. Her first release move is coming up right here. A nice high Ginger move. Now what's impressive about Larissa's work is her legs are locked together, just a little bit short on her handstands here. Here are 2 giants, giant to a full, another giant swing. She has to move into her dismount, a double twist.
Larissa Lloyd. Larissa just back from a World Sports Fair in Tokyo, where she finished 3rd among some of the best gymnasts in the world from the Soviet Union, Romania, China, and the United States.
She's done a lot of international traveling, but it certainly has paid off in this national competition. There are her giant swings. Now, most of the girls will use this type of element to connect into their release moves, which is a special requirement on this event. There's Larissa's, a high Ginger move. Very well done. You can see right on the bar. And her dismount work was excellent, too. This is her giant full leading up into her dismount. She'll work into another giant. They're only allowed 4 moves on the high bar before they have to move into this dismount, which is a double twist. Very well done.
And she impressed the judges as well. 9-8, she takes over the lead.
Next,
This is Koyuki Oka from Sport Seneca, 15 years of age. She was in Romania and Japan last year competing. Also went to Birmingham, England earlier this year.
Now today on the uneven bars, you notice the bars are set at a fairly wide angle. This is tough for Koyuki because she's so tiny. But look at the great form she can get on these giant swings. There's a giant to a full turn. Now she'll move back down to the low bar. She had a full twist with that giant. Now she's using good connection moves to get her back up into the high bar. She's not going to try to give away points by separating her legs at all. Look at her legs glued together. A little bit of a miss there. She should have completed a full twist, but a nice dismount.
Little Koyuki Oka, coached by Brian McVeigh and Carol Orchard.
She's really come a long way. In fact, this was one of the toughest events for Koyuki because of her height disadvantage. There's her full twist. Now she'll reverse her hand change and move back down to low bar, but she adds a full twist, moves back up to the low bar into a handstand position, and this is a giant move. Now she has to tuck her legs in order to clear the mat, and that's acceptable. And there's a free hip circle. There's her giant. And there's where she had a bit of a problem. She should have completed a complete full twist, but she managed to pull off a nice dismount, a double twist.
And a 9.7 for Koyuki. That will put her up into the medals.
Next, Mylene Fleury de Quebec.
This is Mylène Fleury of Quebec.
This is one of Mylène's best events. She has a lot of good skills. She, too, has a very exciting release move coming up at the top of her routine. A nice high Jaeger summy. Good handstand position. Free hip up to the handstand. Now she's fulfilled that requirement on the low bar. Working her way back up to the high bar. Oh, and a nice second release move. That's a reverse hex. And her dismount, a double plank, and she just stuck it. That was very well done. She should be so pleased with that routine.
Only 15 years old in her first year of high-performance gymnastics. Mylène Fleury.
We're really seeing some top-quality gymnastics from all the girls. Now look at this release skill. It's reverse hex, very blind. And that's the difficulty in this particular skill, but Mylène had no problems whatsoever. Working right back up to the handstand. Giant swing. And then she'll connect that to her dismount. We saw a lot of twisting moves, but Mylène performed a double back in a pike position. Again, there's her giant swing. Look at the height she has to get in this dismount. Lots of it right there. Opens up and looks for the landing and nails it perfectly.
Still waiting for the score now. 9.65. 9.65. So that will leave Mylène just out of the medals, which has to be disappointed her, but I would think in her first year of high performance that she'd have to be pretty pleased with a 9.65, Elfie.
Well, she must be very pleased. She did a terrific job.
There you see the standings now. Larissa Loing will take the gold, then Koyuki Oka, Janine Rankin, Mylène Fleury, Natasha Hallett, and Jody Jakes in 6th position. We'll be back with much more as the National Gymnastic Championships continue here at the Metro Center in Halifax. Outstanding competition still to come. Next, it's on the men's parallel bars. We're back live at the Metro Center in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and now it's time for the medal presentation for the women's uneven bars. And as you can see, the podium to the right is vacant. There will be no bronze medal, 2 silver medalists instead.
For gold, first place.
And the gold will go to Larissa Loing of the Winstonettes in Toronto. 9.8 is her score on the unevens.
We have a tie for silver.
And the silver will be a double presentation. Koyuki Oka from Sports Seneca and Janine Rankin from Gymnastics Mississauga. Each receives the silver. Some pretty high caliber performances today on the unevens. 2 9.7s for the silvers and a 9.8. And the 9.8 belonged to Larissa Loing, who, with that score, takes gold. Larissa's had an outstanding week here in Halifax.
Well, we've said it before, but it deserves to be said again that you cannot have a first-class competition like the Gymnastics Championships we've had here in Halifax this week without the generous support of corporate entities. And one of the main contributors this week has been Discount Car and Truck Rentals. I'd like to introduce the president of that company, Mr. Herb Singer. Herb, how have you enjoyed it this week?
Very well. It's been put together very well, and we're enjoying it immensely and proud to be here.
Well, Herb, I want to bring in my friend Malcolm Hogarth, the president of the Canadian Gymnastics Federation, who's been enjoying himself immensely today. Yet another check presentation for you, Malcolm, and Herb, you've got it with you.
Yes, Malcolm, it's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to present to you this check again on behalf of Discount Car and Truck Rentals And we hope to be together with the gymnastics for years to come, and we're enjoying it immensely. Congratulations.
Thank you, Herb. It's really the continuing support of corporations such as yours that allows us to bring this event into every home in Canada. Thank you again.
Thank you, gentlemen. Elaine Nole is, Alan, as you can see, just having that last mental preparation. What they actually do, I think, is go over the routine in their mind, Elfie.
Well, you better believe he's going over each and every element in this routine, and this is a world-class routine, if I must say so. He has a lot of difficulty packed in this event. Good opening, that's called the Diamondov. That's a back toss. As I said, Alan is a world-class competitor on this apparatus. And his big skill is coming up right after this. That's a back toss to the far bar. Take a look at this move. That's called a Ginger release. And then he continues on right through to his dismount. Double back stunning. Oh, and just lost it on the dismount. That's unfortunate. We've never seen that happen to him before.
Oh, an outstanding routine. Although he will be disappointed with the release move.
Well, this whole last part of his routine is so difficult, I can't tell you. It's a world-class combination here. That's a Ginger release move. You don't see too many of those elements performed on the parallel bars, but it's so unusual in that he moves right over to his dismount from a handstand. I just think he was so psyched at this point that he pulled much too hard. Look at the height he gets here, a double back, and he kept pulling. He should have opened up, and unfortunately has to take that 0.5 deduction. That's really too bad to see because that's a great routine.
Well, a 9.2. Would have been a 9.7. So that will be disappointing. He was expected to be in the medals. This is Colin Close from Surrey, BC. Interesting story about Colin is that he was originally from Northern Ireland and actually was on the Commonwealth Games team for Northern Ireland, although he was injured before the games could start in Auckland.
And Colin opens his routine with a nice high V press, and actually he's only on one bar. This event requires moves that swing above the bar and below the bar. Judges are looking for those special requirements. So far he's pretty steady. That's a Healy twirl. Oh, you have to muscle out of that just a little bit. Moving into a second Healy twirl. He should have tried to connect those two moves a little better. That move's called a mana. It's a very difficult strength element.
Staying within the bars much more than Alan Nole did.
And there's his dismount, a double back. Okay, this junior should really be happy with his routine.
His first year in the senior competition. Just 18 years old. Stephen McCauley is his coach. He's only lived in Canada for 9 years now, Colin.
This was a nice opening. He did a kip. Now, remember, he's just on one bar. He's maintaining that high V press position. And he presses up into a handstand. Has to be very, very steady. And then moves over to the second bar. Then pressing back up to the handstand. Again, the men cannot show any more than 3 stops on this event. Colin moves into his dismount, which is a double back stomach. You can see he has to push well enough away from that second bar. Does a pretty good job on his landing as well.
Colin Close has a 9.1. Next up on the bars will be Scott McDonald, 20-year-old from the Burlington Bee Gees, coached by Dave Arnold.
Scott likes this event, too. He's very, very good. He opens with a straddle cut catch, and again on one bar. He'll move up into a press handstand. That's a Healy twirl. Moves into a combination, 2 Healy twirls. This is a nice move right here, a front pike. Right into his dismount, a double back stomach, just sticks the landing. Good routine for Scott.
Now, you should be happy with that routine. He considers the bars one of his better events, and he showed us why.
Now, Scott did a terrific job here. He Held every position. He did all his difficulty that he needed. There is that front pike flip in between the bar. He moves right up into a handstand pirouette. Again, these routines are not as difficult as, say, an Alan Nolay's, but they're doing it to the best that they can. And there's this nice dismount, a double tuck summy. Again, pushing well enough away from that bar, opening up at the perfect timing.
Scott McDonald.
So Scott has a 9.45. And that moves him into first place. Not very happy with that score. Claude Latendresse.
Now, Claude has a very unusual opening. Nobody does this type of mount. He does a front flip. There it is right there, front summy. That's a really nice mount. Then he moves into a planche.
He has great upper body strength.
He has all the strength as well. He looks really nice up on the bars. He has good lines, nice tight body positions. That's a Diamondov. Full turn on one arm in a handstand. Pressing back up to his handstand. And his dismount, a double back, and he sticks the landing.
22-year-old Claude Latendresse from Montreal. He was second all around in last year's championships.
This is an impressive opening. Actually, it's very eye-catching. Look at that front summy. Grabs onto the two bars. Actually, that's a very difficult mount to open with. Since this is the event finals, the way that they can make up some points and bonus points is by taking some risk. That's exactly what Claude did. And look at the dismount. Nails the landing. Very exact. Good double back.
And a 9.45 for Claude. And that moves into a first place tie with Scott McDonald. Well, here's the kid that has won 2 golds already today. And you'll hear quite an ovation because he's a junior from Halifax, competing in the seniors. Chris Burley, as he had a meet. Only 16 years old. You saw the feature on him earlier. Indications that he may have to move to Ontario to continue his gymnastics training.
What's nice about Chris's work is he's mentally tough. He is very prepared for this competition. That's a stutz to handstand, to a second stutz to handstand in combination. Now we'll work over to one bar. Pressing right up to handstand. And his dismount is double tuck summy.
'16-year-old Chris Burley. He's had a great week, and his father, Brian's had a great week, too, helping run this event.
Well, Chris is really impressive in his work. He's very tight. He's a clean gymnast, and that's exactly what we're looking for from these junior athletes. Here's that stutz, and he takes it right up to handstand, does a good job with that, and combines it into a second stutz. And there's his dismount, nice and high, a double back in a tuck position. A very consistent athlete.
The score 9 even. And one more athlete to go. And it is Curtis Hibbard from the Newmarket Gym Club, York University. And when we talk about world-class athletes, here's certainly one of them.
Well, Curtis definitely could have given Alan Nolay a run for his money on this event. The two are very, very exciting to watch on the parallel bars. But if he makes his event, he'll take it away, no problem.
Just noticing there that Curtis has the Olympic rings tattooed on him. And I'm sure he would love that to be a premonition of things to come in Barcelona. Don't forget, we'll be there on CTV at the Summer Olympic Games.
He looks pretty relaxed for this event. Curtis, too, has a world-class routine. There's a giant with a half turn. And, you know, he just works one move to the next. Stutz right up to handstand. Back toss to handstand. Now, that's a back toss with a half twist. That's an original move. Stutz to handstand, just has to land his dismount, double pike, and he puts his hands down. Maybe a little overconfident right towards the end there.
Isn't that something? He knew that he had the routine that likely would have won the gold. And the one little slip at the end costs him. So our two top competitors, Alan Nolay and Curtis Hibbert, both have dismount problems.
Well, as they say, it's not over until it's over. This is a nice skill. It's a back toss with a half twist. A lot of people think that's a mistake, but no, it is a world original move. There's his Stutz right up to handstand. He was really clean in the interior of his routine. You can't take anything away from him, but this is where the judges are going to take a couple of tenths right there. Fell on his dismount, difficult double pike.
9.575. So it was an outstanding performance for Curtis. And a 9.575 will put him on the podium. So our standings, Curtis Hibbert takes gold. Scott McDonald second. Claude Latendresse is tied for second. Alain Nolay, then Colin Close and Chris Burley. We'll be back with more at the National Gymnastic Championships in a moment. Live at the Metro Center in Halifax, the award presentation for the men's parallel bars. And once again, we have a tie. It is for the silver medal, but the gold medalist is Curtis Hibbert with a 9.575. He had the little slip at the end of the routine, but otherwise an outstanding performance. And the silver medal will be shared by Claude Latendresse of Montreal and Scott McDonald from the Burlington BGs. Curtis Hibbert, once again, the defending champion this week, was able to again successfully defend that title, and now he adds the individual gold in the parallel bars to his outstanding week in Halifax. And from the men's parallel bars, we'll now go to the floor for one of the most exciting events in gymnastics, the women's floor exercise.
Our first contestant, Janine Rankin.
And Janine Rankin is up first again. Janine is going to be 18 in a couple of weeks. She's from Gymnastics, Mississauga, coached by Mary Lee Palmer and Alex Bard.
Now, Janine did have that ankle injury in the all-around competition, so this will be a really tough event for her, especially considering that she has to get through 1 minute and 30 seconds with 3 very long tumbling passes. This is a crucial pass, the very first one. There's her opening, full twist, double back.
Much more theatrics involved in this element.
Well, Janine has really worked on this. She works well with her music. She has nice choreography. Here's her second of 3 passes, a combination front through to double back.
Besides the ankle injury, she's also been bothered by a bad back. Injured herself at Stuttgart at the '89 World Championships, and she couldn't compete in Auckland for us.
This is a nice change in the music. Perfect timing, too, because she's getting ready for her 3rd and final tumbling pass. You'd never know she had an ankle injury. She can put it away right here. A fantastic job. That was just a dynamite floor routine, ended with a strong double back. She was our national champion last year.
Nice routine for Janine Rankin. And now she starts limping again. How can she do it? She certainly wouldn't known during the routine that the ankle was bothering her. Let's watch some of it.
These competitors are really tough mentally. And believe me, she blocked it out of her mind completely because this was a dynamite opening. There's a full twist into a double back. She was very high and very sure of herself on the landing. And I like the second tumbling pass, too, because it's a combination showing front and back tumbling. That's a punch front, and she upgrades that by moving into a very high double back summy. And Janine really does this so well. She really is sure on all of her landings.
Score of 9-7-2-5. And Larissa Lowing is up next. Larissa, 18 years of age, from Winston Ends.
From Ontario.
Very dramatic opening and a good combination opening for Larissa, a front through to a double back. You'll find Larissa really playing up to the audience. She has strong music and very strong choreography to go along with it. Oh, a nice second tumbling run. That's a double twist into a punch Shishinova. Nice change in the music. She'll pick it back up here. Strong choreography. This is the final run. A nice high double back. She sticks the landing. Good routine.
She attacked her tumbling lines. Larissa Lowing with a nice routine on the floor.
Larissa's always exciting to watch. She's one of those gymnasts that will just go after it all. She doesn't hold back at all. This was a neat second tumbling pass. That's a double twist, but she rebounds into this punch straddle very high and lands down on the floor. That's called a Shishinova, famous by Elena Shishinova, who was the Olympic champion. Again, look at the speed that she generates getting into her tumbling, and she has good lift off the floor. There's her double back, and that's her final tumbling pass. Very strong.
Put that on camera.
9.75. This is Colleen Johnson from Sports Seneca, transplanted Manitoban, competed for Manitoba in previous years.
Now, this is Colleen's only event final, and that's really hard to do because she's had to wait for all the other 3 events to finish before competing on the final apparatus. Here's her opening, a front through to a double pike. Those 3 jumps you saw right there is a special requirement on this apparatus. Second tumbling pass, 2 front handsprings into a punch front 1 1/4. together. She's getting set for her final tumbling pass. The third run, round up back handspring, double twist.
Colleen Johnson from Sports Seneca. And for someone who had to sit around and wait all day, she made the most of it.
She did a really nice job with this routine. This is her second tumbling pass. It's a punch front. Actually, it was her opening, a front through to a double pike. A very strong opening. She landed that well. There's her punch front into a front handspring, connected to a second front handspring. Now, this was a really unusual pass to a punch front 1 1/4 down to the floor. Really interesting and unique second tumbling pass.
And 9.625 is the score for Colleen. Up next is Monica Kovaci from Sports Seneca.
Now, this is the type of music that the audience can really get into. Any chance that they have to clap along with the routine, they will. There's Monica's opening. It was a relatively simple opening for Monica. It's just a double back in a tough position. There's the change of the music. Round up back handspring, double pike. That was well done. Oh, that was a nice triple turn. That she'll get some bonus points for that particular move. Monica, of course, a veteran of our national team, and you can see the experience really coming through in the finals. Very clean choreography. She's been consistent so far. 1 1/2 twist through to a round of back handspring double twist. Okay, not a bad routine for Monica.
Slight slip at the end of the last tumbling run. Other than that, pretty clean. .75 is the score to beat so far. Larissa Loeing has that, and just barely behind her is Janine Rankin at 9.725. Monica should be up in that 9.6, 9.7 range.
Well, most of the girls will do at least one, and most of them 2 double back summies in their floor routine. And this was Monica's second tumbling pass, and this one was different from the first in that she performed it in a pike position. She had a really nice landing on that one as well. And she had a very different third and final tumbling pass. It was a 1 1/2 twist, and then she moves that through in combination to a double twist. But watch her landing. She's just a little bit short on her landing. Doesn't quite complete the twist. Has to bend her knees a bit.
9.75 for Monica Kovaci. So we now have a tie for first place. Monica's a little surprised herself, I think. Now the 2 pint-sized competitors. First, it's Koyuki Oka from Sports Seneca.
Koyuki is a real treat to watch, and she's one of the ones to watch for coming up into 92. She's a tough competitor. She has it all, the tumbling and also the excellent choreography. See what she can do. There's her opening, a full twist, double back in a tough position. Triple turn. Again, that type of move will give her a few bonus points.
Koyuki has really made gains this year. Last year she was only in one of the event finals. This year she's made 3.
There's her second pass, a whip through to a double back. Oh, a little bit low on her landing there. You can see her playing up to the judges.
Koyuki is also one of Elfie's favorite gymnasts because she's the only person, I think, Elfie, you're taller than.
That's true. She's a tough competitor, and this is her final tumbling run. Roundhouse back handspring, double back. She did a nice job with that line. Well, this is the first step in getting a lot of experience towards 92.
Koyuki Oka, a fan favorite here in Halifax. Still left to come is Stella Ume, who also has a way of getting the crowd going.
Well, this was that skill in the middle of her routine. It's a triple turn, and what she'll do is she'll get some bonus points for actually doing that skill. Again, the routine is only out of a 9.6, so the way to make up those points are through doing bonus skills.
9.65.
Here's some of that light, cute choreography. Nice jump to the side. She really plays up to the judges, and the audience really enjoyed it as well.
So the 9.65 for Koyuki Oka. That puts her in 4th place. And Stella Ume will round out the floor routine. Stella already has 1 gold medal today.
Well, this is a very serious routine, very dramatic and strong. She'll be aggressive. There's her opening, a full twist double back, and that was a nice landing. There's her second tumble pass, a rounded back handspring right to a double back. That's a fantastic combination. Here's the change of music. Full twist, punch front. She has a lot of difficulty in this floor routine. I'm just going to go out there and sell this routine and be very aggressive. There's the last line, a double back. Oh, a dynamite routine. Good tumbling.
Stella Ume of Gymnastics, Mississauga. What a round of applause she gets for that routine.
She has to be really pleased with herself. She's just done a terrific job, really getting a lot of experience.
Here, the silver, Larissa Lowing and Monica Cavacci. And now we go to one of the most exciting apparatus in gymnastics, the daring high bar. Brad Marshall from the Outdoor Club is up first. Brad actually competes at Michigan State University in the NCAA gymnastics program. You know much about that, of course, Elfie.
Well, Brad's had a lot of competition, obviously, this year, competing in the NCAA program, and here he is at the national championships and in event finals on high bar. This is really the most exciting event because of those release moves that we see the men perform. There's his first one, a one-arm giant to a Ginger Sumi. Getting set for his dismount. A full twist in a tough position over the bar.
Unbelievable dismount for Brad Marshall.
He really did well in this routine, very smooth in his transition moves. There's this one-arm giant, then he'll switch back to the other arm, and he upgrades the difficulty of that release skill because he did it out of a one arm. And there's his giant swings. And he's moving into his dismount. I guess it was so unexpected to see him doing a full twist over the bar. Good routine for Brad and a nice start.
9.55 for Brad Marshall. George Zivic up next from the Newmarket Gym Club. He was 6th last year in Edmonton in the high bar.
George is a dynamite high bar worker. He has a very difficult dismount planned. There's his giant swings in an L grip. That's a requirement on this event. One-arm giant work, very strong. And he moves also into a high ginger. Of course, trying to make all the moves look very smooth. Here's a dismount, a triple back. Oh, and over-rotated. He had so much pull.
Hurt himself on the landing as well.
He was very quick on this apparatus. Good moves, moved one into the next, and there's this one-arm giant. Again, working into a release move, which most of the men would show, and that was a ginger summy. And this is a dynamite dismount. He almost had way too much height. It's a triple back. There's the first salto, well above the high bar. In fact, the second salto was too, and just jams in his legs in the landing. You can see much too much rotation there.
And a 9.35 for George. This is Mark Van Wyck, who won it last year. Mark won it as a junior last year in Edmonton. Has his work cut out today. You might notice he's a little bit cut up, some scrapes and bruises. His hobby is mountain climbing, and he had a little tumble last week. Actually, rock climbing.
Mark is strong on this apparatus. Here's his release move, a reverse hex. Moves it right up into a giant swing, into a second release move, and that was a ginger from a one-arm giant. A little bit sloppy in that connection after the release move. Here displaying more one-arm giant work. He's a little bit offside there. Getting himself back on track for his dismount. Winding up, here's giant swings into a double twisting, double back dismount. That's an extremely difficult dismount. Just didn't know where he was on the landing.
The level of difficulty is so high during the routine, Elf, that they seem to lose concentration a bit on the dismount.
Well, he's definitely trying to keep up with the difficulty in today's competition. This was a nice move, one-arm giant to his ginger release move. He performed that really well. And here's his giant swings. Now, it's a super difficult dismount. He's going to do 2 twists in a tuck position and 2 summies at the same time. You can see he opens up really offside, has to take that 0.5 deduction.
So Mark Van Wyck scores a 9.2. Still to come, the outstanding competitor in this event, Curtis Hibbert, when we return as the National Gymnastic Championships continues in a moment. Halifax Metro Center. This is hometown favorite Chris Burley on the high bar.
The Nova Scotia fans definitely love Chris. He's done a dynamite job. He's been so consistent, and I think that's been the most impressive thing about his performance. Here's his release move, a reverse hack. Oh, a little bit too far away.
He'll chalk up and go back up now.
Now he has 30 seconds in order to chalk up and get himself set to get back into his routine.
He already has won 2 gold medals this afternoon. For a junior, that's a pretty fine afternoon in the senior competition.
Well, Chris definitely has to be proud of himself. He's really come a long way, and he's right up here with the senior competitors, doing a terrific job. Now he's going to get back up. Doing his giant work. Doesn't have a lot of difficulty in this routine, but again, he executes so well. There's a Veronin, another release move. And he's going to get set for his dismount here. His giant swings into a high double pike dismount.
Chris Burley with the one slip early, otherwise a pretty nice routine.
He actually had a very good routine, and let's see where he went wrong here. There's his reverse hecht. He gets well above the high bar, but just a little bit too far away. That's fingertip control right there, and he couldn't hang on. And then his giant swings, working into his dismount. A high double pike, not the most difficult dismount you'll see in the event finals, but he does it quite well and lands very well. It's good routine.
8.9 the score for Chris Burley. Next man on the bar is one of the best in the world. Curtis Hibbert, who won the silver medal in this apparatus at the World Championships.
And this is a routine Curtis can really do in his sleep. There's his one arm to reverse hecht. How these one-arm giants are so easy for him. There's a second release move, a high ginger. Jam through to handstand. And his eagle grip giant. Just his dismount. Double twisting, double layup. Now that's a new dismount for Curtis. He went for full difficulty. That's nice to see.
He stumbled a bit with it, but he caught it. Won't be too much taken off for that routine. And he receives congratulations all around.
Just a dynamite job. There's a stalder right up to handstand. One-arm giant into his reverse hecht. A little bend of the knee there. Right up to a giant swing. Works into a second one-arm giant, and this was a second release move. Super high ginger move. Really well done.
Great routine by Curtis Hibbert and a 9.8. One athlete to go as the National Gymnastics Championships continue in a moment. Paul is our last athlete on the high bar. Curtis Hibbert with a 9.8 is the leader.
Claude is very good on this apparatus. Again, that nice long line looks so good on the high bar. There's this one-arm giant to a high ginger. Oh, and a little bit too far away again. That's a difficult release skill, and especially doing it out of one arm. Very, very tough. The timing has to be right on.
Well, it guarantees Curtis Hibbert the gold medal now, because there's no way that Claude can score a 9.8 or better now.
Picking back up, one-arm giant to a reverse hecht over the bar in a pike position. Nice stall to work to handstand. Getting set for his dismount, double layout. Okay, he ends, and that second routine is very well done. Unfortunate for that fall.
Nice landing on the dismount, but the slip will cost him. And Curtis Hibbert will win the gold medal with a 9.8. For Claude Latendresse. So Curtis Hibbert takes the gold medal.
We've run a little over. We've got to go to San Francisco. Hope you enjoyed the show. For Peter Young and Elfie Schlegel, I'm Paul Meunier. So long from Halifax.
This